All right. Yes, we're ready. All right. Welcome once again to another live talk with the wonderful now Daniela Bonvicini. She's a wonderful specialist and a very prolific and avid neurolanguage coaching trainer. And she'll be sharing with us her journey into language learning and her wonderful insights about the brain. And the one thing that I find very, very interesting about Daniela is her skill set. So it
Oh,
not only is related to languages per se, but also it goes beyond that. Just a couple of ideas about Daniela. Daniela is a polyglot. Yeah, she is also a neurolanguage coach trainer and a life coach as well, and she's a very kind-handed person as well. So, without further ado, let us welcome Daniela to our session today.
thank you, Juan Carlos, for this introduction. Very uh, nice introduction. Thank you for that. And
Mhm.
I'm very happy to be here. As we were saying before, it's a good training for my brain because it's a new experience. And
Yeah. Oh.
I feel that little bit of anxiety that makes me more
Mm.
careful, but also excited about this experience. So thank you for
Yes.
this opportunity of talking to people about our experience, because you are also
Yeah.
a professional neurolanguage coach and trainer for new neurolanguage coaches. So we share a journey. We have been sharing this journey for some years. So thank you.
Exactly. And thank you for accepting the invitation because you just mentioned that this is something new for you, but that demonstrates that by being here, you're willing to step out of your comfort zone and to keep your brain active and new and also keeping the neuroplasticity of your brain alive. So that's fantastic
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely.
Mhm.
I love learning, and lifelong learning is one of mottos in our
Mhm.
community,
Yes.
because it keeps you young. That's one positive
Mhm.
effect. Also, it's a passion. It's a passion learning languages and also other things, because
Yeah.
what I like is variety, and I like changing
Yes.
topics and not doing the same thing every day.
Yeah, very nice. Speaking of passion for
Mm.
languages, can we
Mm.
start by telling us a little bit about of this spark, this passion? When did it start, Daniela, for you?
Well, it was really early in my life. I was around 13 at the time. I was
Mhm.
going to choose my high school, and I found a leaflet in my previous school about um, a high school where for languages. And it was kind of new
Mhm.
experience because the school was a bit far from my home. So I had also to organize my life in a way to be there every day. And I when I saw that leaflet, somehow um, I understood that that was what I wanted to do, the school I wanted to go to. And so I decided uh, to learn. It was English, because you have to know that I started learning English quite late. I was already 14, because at that time at the middle or primary school we didn't used to learn English. So my first language
Oh,
was
mhm.
French, not English,
Interesting.
and then also German and French again at high school. And that's where my um, yeah um, let's say language experience started. Maybe it was not really a passion at that time, but I really chose what I wanted to do. It's something that it's not always like that when you are so young, to have the
Mm,
possibility of
okay.
going the way you feel it is your. I think I was very lucky.
Interesting. Yes. Okay, okay. I think there's a popular writer, Robert Greene. It's one of my favorite writers, and he says something along those lines that sometimes we find those primal inclinations at the very early stages of our lives. You know? So for me, that resonates a lot with what you said, you know, with what you just said, because you were 13, 14, and then you had a first encounter with different languages, and that led you eventually to become a language educator yourself. You know? So it's very interesting how that works.
Yeah, the way was not
Yes.
that straight, but
Oh,
I
okay.
came
Yeah.
to that in yeah, quite, I would say recently, because it was 9 years ago when I started to work as a
Okay.
language trainer or educator.
Yeah.
There was
Mm,
something else in between, which
okay.
gave me a kind of variety in my interests and also
Yeah.
in my experience. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And if I may share, I've noticed more and more that, in a way, our colleagues, the ones who stand out, are the ones who have a variety of skills under their belts. So not only have they specialized in languages, but they've also specialized in other arenas, and they have successfully combined all of these areas and
Mm.
created something new, something that is not. Um, seen every day in our community and in our market. So
Yeah,
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 I
absolutely. There
congratulate.
are language trainers that combine languages with dance or with yoga or with other, how can I say, other areas of connected with your mind or with your body. And so, yeah,
Yeah,
everybody brings something different of their experience into this job. So, and this gives also to our clients and coaches a wider variety of experiences they can make. So yeah, as
definitely.
we say, every brain
Yes.
is unique. So everyone brings something different into the same job.
Yes, yes, exactly. That is one of our mantras, our mottos in neurolanguage coaching. Every brain is unique. Let us transition into neurolanguage coaching a little bit, if I may,
Sure.
Daniela. So, when I was doing a little bit of research about you in preparations for this presentation, I noticed that you are actually one of our most active trainers in our community of neurolanguage coaching trainers. And when it comes to the participants in my courses, they usually say that the reason behind their need to take this course is because they want to start anew, they want to rekindle, reignite their passion for uh, quote unquote teaching and language learning. But what about your participants? Do they have a similar reason, or what is the
Um,
reason that they decided to
there are
your
some
language coaches?
trends or some aspects that are quite common. Most of them look
Yeah.
for structure. So they want
Hmm.
to to find method to appliance in a different way or to structure in a different way their sessions. They call them lessons, call them sessions. So there's a change of vocabulary when you become a language coach. But some most are already transitioning to something different because they have realized that their kids, especially they work with adults, need a different approach because our clients today have less time, less focus, and need to go straight to the point. So they feel this language educators feel this need for uh, something a more direct approach to help their clients. And this is another thing that I often hear from the participants, they want to help their clients more. They want to assist their clients more in having better results. And so they look for different methods, approaches.
Yeah.
They look for something that works. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Interesting. So structure and yeah, pretty much, and helping their clients achieve faster and potentially more efficient results. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And also this
Now,
idea of getting their attention. So attention is also one of the things that um, is really is getting more and more important if you want to get
mhm,
results.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And every day, we are bombarded with people trying to capture our attention, and I think the more this continues, our attention span will eventually decrease more. So I think, yes, definitely it is important to find new ways to maximize the attention, because we both know that without attention, learning can't happen at all. So everything starts, I think, here in the
Absolutely.
prefrontal cortex. Yeah. So definitely,
Yeah,
yes.
I was
And
reflecting recently. Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you.
mm,
Just
no, no.
quickly about this. Um, I reflected with a psychologist recently um, on how what we call a memory problem is often an attention problem. So our brain can't memorize things if we don't pay attention enough. So maybe we think we can't learn languages, we can't get to learn vocabulary or learn new grammar rules. But the point is how much attention you pay when you doesn't work if you don't pay attention.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
if you have problems in memorizing something, ask yourself first, am I paying or did I pay enough attention? Because that might be the key, because your brain can memorize everything. It's a matter of
Yeah.
practice, repetition, but first of all, attention, focus, enough
Yeah.
focus.
Yes. Yes. The one thing that I'm trying to apply more and more to maximize my attention is to basically to prime my brain first for what's coming, and I
Mhm.
need to get ready first, and I need to have eliminate as many distractions I can prior to actually sitting down and then go over my notes or retrieve what I remember about a specific topic. And yeah, I think we need to remember that the more distractions we eliminate, or the more we prepare ourselves for the learning process, it can help us to maximize attention in a way. Mhm.
Yeah, one of my
Yeah.
tricks there is I I have no notifications on my phone. I abolished them a long
Yeah.
time ago because otherwise, especially during sessions, because otherwise your attention goes there and I need to be fully focused on my client, because otherwise I will not, catch those signals that
Yeah.
their attention is somewhere else and not on what we're doing, or maybe also focus on their emotions, because if their emotions somehow are on the way, they will not
Hmm.
learn as 100% what we're
Yeah.
doing, but because their attention is somewhere. Focus myself. I need to avoid any acoustic signals anywhere, because otherwise my attention goes away. And um,
Yeah.
yeah, for me, it's a very important trick, because I really hear sounds very much. So
Oh, okay.
also little things tend to attract my attention, and I
Yeah.
simply don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, definitely, definitely. Um, as a neurolanguage coach, and during the course that we both deliver, we definitely talk about the tools, the skill set that a coach has under his or her belt. And this might be different, a little bit different from perhaps a more traditional teacher. Although, as you mentioned, some educators are already transitioning intuitively to coaching.
Yeah.
But from that list of skills, for example, from a coach, which is the one that you consider that we educators could borrow and integrate it into the language learning process without
Mm,
going into many details, of course?
no, the first which comes to my mind, and that is really very difficult to practice in these days, is silence.
Mm,
So
okay.
in a coaching session, doesn't matter if it is for language or a live coaching session. The first thing is to leave space to your coachee so that they can uh, express themselves. And if you are working on a language, they can try and do their mistake, make their mistakes. Um, so give them time to
Yeah.
reflect because every brain is different, and so each and every of us needs a different time to reflect on things. Maybe I'm faster, maybe I'm slower than you, so I need to respect your times. And um, and the best way is silence. So wait enough for them to answer, and let them feel they can give themselves time and that you are not tiring them up. Um, and this is even more important if you think how fast our life is. So how fast we often have to 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 give answers to people. So if we can grant our coaches that relaxed space where they can try, make mistakes, be silent if they need to be silent, and reflect, um, it's a way to calm down their brain and um, let their brain work better in the best possible way.
Definitely. And in those moments of silence, I think we both agree that this is where those wonderful insights come. And
Mm,
from a brain perspective, when you have that aha moment, you
yeah,
are generating so
amazing.
many brain connections that you potentially will never forget what you learned. Whereas when we give them the answer, the solutions, that doesn't happen. So, and they might actually forget it the next day. So,
Absolutely, absolutely.
mm,
So if it takes a little bit more time, it looks like, but when you get an answer from them, it took time. It means they have understood something new and different from their own perspective in their own way, and they will never forget it. If
no,
it is and if we are working on a language, what is then simply missing is practice and repetition, but their
mm,
brain has come to a different idea, to a new idea. If it is my idea and I tell you my idea, you can somehow understand it, but it won't stick because it's my idea. It's something
mm,
different. My brain works in a different way than yours. So
yeah,
it's the more you do as a client or as a coachee, as a learner, and the more you will learn. So silence is also connected to not talking to so much during
mm,
sessions
yeah,
because it's the coachee doing and talking and um, explaining things, for example. It's not my job anymore to explain so much, but it's the coachee explaining things. So they find their own way to
yeah,
explain, for example, a grammar rule or the way some verb works or how to structure the sentence. If they can explain it to themselves, means they have grasped it, they have understood
yeah,
it.
definitely. The way I like to explain this when I deliver the course is Yeah, we're talking about the autonomy of the learner. The more they do, the person who does it is the person who learns it. But the way I also see this is that once you invest time, energy, and effort, money into something, the more fruitful you want this process to be. So, and the same thing I can say about learning. No, the more the coachee suggests, collaborates, tells us how they prefer to do things, the more they are investing in their own learning, and the more fruitful they would like this process. They want this process to be. So yeah. Mm, yeah.
Absolutely. The more they do also with
Yeah.
materials, with what they do outside sessions. And this is part of
Exactly.
coaching. The responsibility in learning, in this case, is
Yeah.
on the side of the client because it's their job. We are a
Hmm.
facilitator. We
Yeah.
assist them in the process. That's
Yes.
our role.
So yeah. So we've talked about a little bit of coaching, one of the pillars of the method that we use, and you've already mentioned a couple of things about what constitutes learning from your perspective, which I totally share with you. But just to go a little bit deeper into the brain and learning, in your opinion, Daniela, how does someone learn potentially faster? What is that cocktail there of elements that allow someone to learn potentially faster?
Okay, let's see if I understood the question well because the connection was a bit broken. Can you
Oh,
repeat the
okay.
question
Yes, of course.
from a brain
In from your
perspective?
perspective, how does some yes, yes, from a brain perspective and your perspective as a neuro language coach, how does someone learn potentially faster?
Hmm. Okay. We have seen some aspects which are really key to learning faster. One was attention, focus,
Yep.
and we've spoken about repetition. So
Yep.
when you understand something new, you also need to come back to that material from time to time to repeat. Um, and another aspect we haven't talked about is motivation. So it's
Ooh.
not enough to say, I need to do that, or I've always wanted to do that. Sometimes, new clients arrive with this idea, but we need to go deeper and find something that really gives you the energy of going through the process, because otherwise
Mm.
you will stop along the way. um, People nowadays, not only adults, also teenagers, are so busy with so many activities: school, sports, friends, job, or speaking of adults, job and meetings at any time, one after the other. And then you have your family, you try to do some sports. And so it's really of being really motivated to carve out
Mm.
the time you need to practice the language with a coach or alone. It doesn't make that difference. If you do in one way, find a little time every day to do that. And motivation is key to that, because
Yeah.
if you are not really motivated, you will find
Yeah.
excuses, will start with a high energy, and then slowly, and there we come as coaches to uh, keep them remembering what's the real and deep reason why they do that along
Hmm.
the way.
Yeah.
But this is key because
Yes.
I can give you an example in my own job. I work with different languages. I also work with German and French, And having so much to do with my clients, it's difficult for me to, for example, learn something different in French or review something in French if I don't have any clients in that period, because I need to be really motivated. If I have the reason why, and the reason why is my client, and trying to help them in the best possible way to learn something different and new, then I myself feel the need to go deeper into the language. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's harder. It doesn't mean I don't want to, but it's harder because the motivation is lower, and so it's
Yeah.
easier to find other things to do, or
Yeah.
more interesting things to do than
Oops, I think.
not
Yeah.
enough to to support the process. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. And that is something that we all your language coaches know very well, just to go beyond perhaps simple reasons to find something much more powerful. Uh, and yeah, yeah. Very good. So, what are your current? Before we go, no, I'd like to ask you about your current interest. No, I think the race community would like to know what is Daniela reading these days, or what are you
Okay.
interested in learning more about? So yeah.
Well, I have to admit that I tend to read different books at the same time, because I think about how to use words and in the right way and connected with your state of mind or your feelings of the moment, and also to get the effect that you want. So how really words shape also our feelings and mood. Recently in cultural differences, and how belonging to a different
Mm,
nation or culture changes our way to perceive the words of other people and our way of
mhm,
communicating. For example, giving feedback can't be the same for anybody. There are some ways of giving feedback that work in the States, in Italy, or in other European countries. So it's related to the person, but the way the person reacts depends also on their culture. And this is something I would
yep.
like to go deeper into. Um,
Interesting.
yeah. And also, I like history, because I like visiting historical buildings and archaeological sites or things like that. So
Yeah.
I try to discover something in history without reading history books, but reading about people living in a period and what they did, how was their life, or things like that. So with that, human touch or personal touch that makes history more interesting.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, you know what they say about learning about history allows you not to repeat the same mistakes, no, in the present. Yeah, so I think it's so wonderful to go deeper into it. Danelia, thank you so much for being here today, and this has been wonderful. And I think we both agree that we could do this for another extra 30 minutes, but we want to be as respectful as possible with everybody's
Sure.
time and yours as well. And but yeah, if you are up to a new live talk, yes, with pleasure. Yeah, we can invite you once again. Would that be
Thank you
possible?
for hosting this event. Thank you also to raise awareness of coaching and education. You are doing an amazing job, because the more we are in speaking about a different way of educating people, and the more people will enjoy a different way of learning
Mm.
with us. So thank you for this opportunity.
Yes. I know that you have some upcoming courses. Yeah. What can you
Yeah,
tell us about it?
yeah. I have an online course starting on July the 5th, and I can tell you
Mm.
it will start. So it's really starting
Oh,
because I have people on board. So
nice.
it's going through September. So it's not very pressing. So people have the time, participants have the time to review the materials and practice with each other. Um, and there's also the face to face, but it's a little bit more difficult to organize. So this version would
Yeah.
be partially online and at 2 intensive days in my town in Italy.
Yeah.
Mm, and I would also like, no link for that because it's still in working in progress, but I would like to deliver also the advanced course quite
Ooh.
soon.
Yeah.
So it will be the first time that the advanced course will be delivered in Italian, because my courses
Nice.
are in
Great.
Italian, of course.
Mm. Got it. Got it. So, if anyone is interested in participating in any of those two courses that Daniela is delivering, you can click on the no, scan the code here right on top. I think you can see it there, and it will direct you to Daniela's courses and her website as well. Daniela, thank you so much for doing this, and we hope to see you again very very soon.
My pleasure.
Okay. And thank you once again for those who are either watching this now or you'll also have access to watch the recording later today. Thank you so much and hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Take
Juan
care.
Carlos. Bye.
Bye bye.